Dun, 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 dun. The was behind the sun diary. Just okay. Hi, hi, Monkyvers. Welcome to another episode of the Way Behind the Sun Diary. Yay! So in this episode, I just wanted to vibe, do a little celebration with you because I finally get out from therapy. Yeah, I finally accomplished that. I feel that I did almost a career on therapy because I was investing that 5 years straight. 5 years. So yeah. Also, I want to give you a little funny story time that happened with the pride, by the way, on the month of pride, but like yeah. So this is third time goes up because I'm a Peruvian, I live in Peru, but I love to speak English because I want to give you a little POV of like what it's like to be Peruvian. And even though I don't know how it will be for the future, but let's keep it there. But this happened in my country, okay? Keep it up. So, 27 of like days ago, and my auntie was like telling me that, and so a lot of people were going to proclaim her the new president of Peru, everything, but it doesn't happen with political things, none of that. People were about to walk for the Pride Month, and it's so funny because a lot of people, a lot of people have that confusion. I mean, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to protest because I'm not okay because we had this person, whatever. A lot of people were kind of having for that reason, and instead of that. And instead of that, they just simply go to like the most colorful event that you would ever see, the most colorful event that you would ever see. That basically was um Pride Month, like the Pride Walk, and it's funny because most of these people are not actually up, or most of these people are not actually agree with like LGBTQ plus community, but they go there and they found a lot of LGBTQ plus people, and it's so funny. A lot of gay people, a lot of lesbians, just a lot of them. And that teach that first of all you need to have a schedule, and second of all you cannot mess up with the schedule because you can have this incidents. But it was just funny that emphasizing your life partner with marketing. Okay. By the way, I get this a little ASMR moment. I love sounds so much that whenever I'm doing my makeup or something, I hear, and I love to see this episode like people wearing a lot of like jewelry on it, but I don't want to do appropriation culture, but I wanted to have a little something for me, a little things in the coffee shop, in places such as cleaning services and stuff like that. There are learning what is actually romanticized in your life, and more than romanticized in your life, because I see that many of my viewers can be a little corporate. I know you are, but a lot of them are more in this corporate lifestyle, more of this like things related to college, studying, being all of that. So having your things or having whatever or feeling these things or feeling whatever, but you can actually see gray, but your mission is to make a little bit of colorful. Doesn't matter, even though that can be just with something that you had or something that you might not have or something that some people tell you, just doing a little strategies to keep as well the track. And by the way, I have a little something under my things to keep a little colorful. Isn't it cool? They look like cherries. Or vibing, because some people don't like that, but like everybody have their own palette. I mean, I can tell you just be colorful, but you love to be black and white. But you can give other shapes to the black and white life, not just black and white type thing. You can do different prints black and white. You can do different textures black and white. You can do many things, not just black and white thing. we're gonna start from there. And I'm gonna give you two examples of why you can do actually to romanticize your life at the lower prices, because I know prices are getting higher and higher as we speak, because uh, I also been paying bills. I also been in your place, so don't get involved just because, oh my god, you have it. No, I see that going on. But the cheapest thing that I can tell you to upgrade your daily life is learn to do a basic juice. And it will be the lamest thing that you can do, I promise. But once you boil the juice, once you put it there, once you know, Verda, everything, it can upgrade your day. It could really upgrade your day, because it's the funniest thing that happened to me, because I remember being always drinking the same juice in the same cup, but I really didn't have this idea. And you can even though try many techniques to decorate your mouse in the cheapest way possible. Secret is cheaper. You can print and you can cut it. If you feel lazy, you can buy that for 2 cents or something. But like, just doing something for you, unique and aesthetically pleasing for you. And if you like black and white, because this is so funny, because I have a thing for people that like black and white. I see somebody that drink was like aesthetically pleasing black dark coffee, and then a piece of bread, and then a piece of something, and maybe a bowl of like fruits. That was the best and aesthetically pleasing moment I ever had. It can be seem boring, but like, just the fact that they add a little bit of colors with like some fruits on top, it was so interesting for me, because it was out of the basic that I was hoping. And so that's what I'm telling you. You can do that for many things, not just cooking, but even the way your coffee, maybe in the way that you can try it, just to do a little instant coffee, a little bit of sugar, you mix it out, you make the cream, and you then put all the milk, and that's it. Really basic, and that you can upgrade that. It's simple things that I promise it will upgrade your daily life way better. And on top of that, um related with cleaning houses of people, and what I've been seeing along the way, that even though I work in like in a place that was a little bit expensive, a restaurant that I saw, is that little items that you made that are considered handmade can upgrade some corners of your daily life. Even though you are into craft or you are not into crafts, could upgrade your corner, could upgrade your day, could upgrade your mood, and could upgrade your how you feel here in your heart. As a person who loves crafts, I've been seeing, even though that I get to clean the house of the florist that we had here in my city. And she sells a ton of flowers. That she sells a lot of ton of flowers, and like, the house that she had was 4 floors, like 4 floors. I was cleaning the stairs, and I pay attention to what she had in her house, and she had a corner for spiritual things. She had a corner for work. She had a corner for getting ready. She had a corner of getting everything together. But like, every floor that she had was dedicated to something. Even though the corner of relaxation that I never will forget, that was combined with a corner of like spirituality, just having a place dedicated to something that you believe on. It could be the universe, like I believe, and it could be stars, it could be God, it could be whatever you can also have. It could be really important for you. Dedicate that as well. I have a little small role to this point, to have a corner for podcast, have a corner for this, have a thing like that. And if I don't have the enough place to have that, I reinvent myself, and I just make, for example, if I want to talk about something more spiritual, I put another necklace. And when I'm talking about something more grounding like makeup, I just simply don't wear nothing of jewelry. So that's kind of the strategy that I've been having to labeling the things that I had or the mood that I feel to don't lose myself and have a sense of control. So basically, to do this, you can start by imagining, first of all, if you are not into doing the things for yourself and you are used to doing things for other people, imagine that you are into somebody, you love them so much. Imagine if they will come into your house, what they might feel, or like what will be the reaction for them from your house. And then start to pick it up things to make the space more beautiful for them. But as long as you practice this little dynamic, just being like getting into doing the things for some, I know it sounds bad doing things for other people, but do something for themselves. And then after you do this exercise, you then look out just for yourself, being like, yeah, I did this well, I set up my place to be so much better. And so, yeah, as well, try and do your best to don't spend money on that, because I promise best changes take lower money. I promise. This cardboard I have in my house for many months. I it didn't do this collage until I decided to have a podcast and I take the time and effort to use this. But even though the painting on my walls, I really was scratched a lot, but like my grandpa have abandoned that on my under, and so I asked for some paint and I paint my room, and I did that for myself. Like I'm proud of that as well, and that can be also good for you. If you're not into buying things, you can maybe try this exercise. Even though you're into buying things, you can even try this exercise just to sell yourself the best day that you had. Because I've been visiting many hotels in my life. I visit hotels that were having the shower, have the cardboard, have the walls of marble, have the mirrors, have many things like that. And I visit one of the modest hotels in my life that just have maybe a little bed, a little night room, and a little lamp. And I learned from that vision that first of all, my space was having a lot of clutter, so that's what I decided to not have a lot of clutter in my house, even though that sometimes I did have, but I included the place that I had, and then I decided to become more like as a guest for my room rather than a person who lives there, because once you accomplish the fact that you are more than a guest for your room, you can actually be conscious about what you do for your room, what you make it yours. Or even though that you visit, some family members, you can have maybe the perspective of like I visit some people, was like there and I enjoy that place more than you, that you can learn from them, or you can even do upgrade your daily life. And how I always have is repeating this, I will remind you again, if you don't mind, that every habit that you have, even though that you are not a male energy or female energy, completely, because we all have those polarities sometimes. You can give yourself a little female trait if you don't mind. That's how I call it, my female trait. The drinks that I had, the things that I do, or even though the most masculine thing that you could ever imagine, that I really always been masculine, I feel though, in my community, is that construction and stuff like that, because I was cutting woods for um my door, because the door was not working, and I was cutting all the woods and I was dying from pain, because you don't have sometimes protection, you need to cut something is not there to help you to put the wood there to in order for you to cut, and you need then to measure all of that, and it's draining. This process, it's a little bit draining, but what is interesting about this process is that once you are done from it, you can either just take a nap if you want to, or maybe you can do yourself a little drink or watch something that you love, because you give yourself a reward after. And It's nice. After a task, it's really nice to have a street as well. Sometimes you can be really with results. I know we can do better. I know we can do. Well, we need that. Your mind will get used to more to dopamine than being treated bad, because as long as you give yourself a little reward after you do this, you will be and you will feel way better. And if you're on a diet, you will still could give yourself a little reward physical. Maybe resting, maybe looking at the window, maybe smelling something that you love. You can also give yourself this reward. It could be many rewards. You can go live window. A reward if you're on a diet, a reward if you're not wanting to move, or you had maybe some pain in your body, a reward if you don't feel good. And I gonna include myself on this. We often see other people, their life being romanticized and being, everything. But when it comes to our lives, we can be jealous about other people romanticizing their life instead of ourselves, and having the tools that we had in our things, and be conscious of what we had, and also be aware and pay really extra attention more than the fact that they had the lifestyle that you want to have. Remind yourself what are the things that they also want to have, those people that you saw online, because we live in an online community, I feel, though, even though. And it's funny because the first time that it happened to me was when I see a vlogger that she had her life put together, she have everything well, they had, I mean, everything done. But in my eyes, I always wanted to have the same cup. I always wanted to have the same this, the same that, the same room, the same whatever, the same corner deep down in my core. But they said something that changed my perspective. I wish that I could have a plate of fresh fruits every single day, how I did have today. And I wish I had herbs that these people had in this day, in this time. And that was the most lamest thing that I had here. The lamest thing that I had here. Because let me tell you, I always have fruits, I always have herbs, because it's really my thing. It's really what I'm used to. It's normalized. It's so normalized that some people come out despite from that. So pay attention to that. Oh, I had another thing to tell you related with my song that it was called Lay. That is a song dedicated for me to talking about of that we maybe left behind. But once I get off from therapy, I learned to don't have fear to men and all of that. All of the above. My last episode of therapy, but I must tell you that this song was made for all the people that want maybe a little change, and I didn't want to talk about it properly. I want to give a sneak peeks about what was going on in my mind, what was going on my mind, and I really just want to get deep a little bit. Message of me being, into whatever I was into. A letter for me, because the change was radical, first of all, with a little marketing thing. So don't get involved too deep in that. But I don't see the last thing that I had, the last part of a home of something really back and forward, and that's it. I see more than just that. I feel that it was just me feeling love, feeling deeply in love, but really escaping that thing of feeling off from not giving a closure, like a proper closure, like a stop to what I was getting on the past related to men and all of that. Because most of the time, even though that I've been telling you that as a woman, we love to feel validated for men, even though that you are not into men. we love to feel the sense of power sometimes of how I thought and how I was getting used to because of my city. I wouldn't blame the religion, wouldn't blame nothing. It was just the way that I was raised in, which is okay. But it's also okay for me to be honest and be, open about it. So yeah. I don't wanna mention who is this guy. He had their own life. We crossed parents for a couple a couple times. I feel that was it. It's not part of my daily life. It's not a person close to me because even though that I tell some people deeply, I love the stories about you. I wish that I could met somebody like you because I've been telling a couple people as well. I also recognize the fact that I will never will be able to met this guy ever, and I would just be like, yeah, it exists. I mean, because you as a person who used to believe in certain type of things, you could have a different point of mismatch. I feel though because at least for me, I was like God because it was not me that I was asking, it was God. I was here. I was like, God, what is going on? And then I was like, universe, why you stop that to happen to me? And besides all the blame that you want to give to the universe, that you want to give to God, they want to give to that because it's like something that you see before that you were like, oh my gosh, I thought it was about to happen, but it happened. It was a plus point. It was a plus. And even that I don't know that this guy was really the guy, the guy, because I see some traits about him that are also fitting on the list. I have also a list for a guy. Really, besides that we know somebody could be just tight about the list, whatever. It's just an invitation for all the deep work that I did, inner deep work that I did with myself, because you can be like, but this is a sign to come back to guys. But then once you look deep down in yourself, you're like, no, I don't like him, but I feel hope to see them. I really feel deeply happy to see them just because I know who they are. You know, that's an invitation to you to maybe be more open to see that you also have everything that you can imagine. That's it. Doesn't need to be related to maybe just getting into this, getting into that, because it also happened with me with girls. I have this list of this girl, and the minute that I change the list, the minute that I change the person, and it completely went off from my life to be okay that it's something that happened in the past. It's okay to move on and just continue with your day, and don't be reminiscing, don't be missing, don't be like, oh my gosh, my life is crashing out, because I did have a time where I've been like, I'm getting crazy, I don't know what happened. I just really don't know. And remember all the good behaviors, all the good patterns, all the good things, because I've been a little bit on both sides of like spiritual things related with twin flames, that I really don't agree with everything that they said. More because there is a thing related to that it's just the reflection work that you did with yourself. You work yourself a lot, but they don't work on themselves, so that's why you're in toxic partners sometimes. That's what I don't agree fully. But there is something that I really agree is that there is some behaviors in your dream partner that you, or some qualities you might look for in someone else, that you can work, or that person could still be working. If you wanted something successful, you want something really kind or patient, that is some trait that someone, if they want to, they can work on that. So that is what is this song, just being in this lost moment, being like, I really am in a crisis, but I had this first of all with my emotions, and I know what I like. I know what I don't like, and I don't blame other people for switching it up. Those moments of like, I was into girls, now I'm dating guys. I was into this, now I'm dating this. Now I'm dating this person or this, whatever. And I don't blame those people. Okay, so I did this song from my perspective, how I interpret, and I give myself the time to be okay with that. I give myself just the time to be okay. I'm going to get this point. I'm going to be better, and I'm going to say, okay, it's not temporary, it's something long term, even though I have everything on my plate to make that a long term. But we have this little illusion, but once we met somebody, it also could have shadows. Doesn't matter if it's your dream person, your dream whatever, you fit on the list, whatever, it could also have some laws and flaws. And okay for you to be okay, I'm getting old, or I'm getting old, or I'm getting whatever. It's okay. There will be a time for you when you actually met somebody that actually is aligned with you, and it brings you deeply peace, and it brings you deeply love. And yeah. Anyway, Monkyvers, I hope that you will enjoy this episode of me talking about my crisis. Not kidding, kidding. But I did this work even though in the lowest in the lowest, and unfollowing people as well make me be more aware of which people I really love and I really care about with me. And yeah, also be brave with your emotions. I feel that this song will be me sobbing. It will not be peachy. It will be the lemons, and they will be your little company while you can maybe struggle in these moments where you actually don't know if you're into men or you're not into men. And even though it can seem like it's not for me. It's not for me. I give the closure, and that's it. Maybe I can tell you more about what happened actually in those moments in another episode. Okay, once I release this song. Okay, bye. Have a good day. Bye. Yeah, take care. Subscribe and share my podcast. Bye.
I know maybe you can be tired of hearing this, but please follow me on Spotify so my mom finally believes this music career thing is real. Okay, thank you. Bye.